Hey, second grade scholars. Welcome to our Monday writing mini lesson. So today we are going to learn all about realistic fiction, and it looks like Lola is going to help me. So I just wanted to mention that this PowerPoint was created by Miss Cologne. She's another second grade teacher, and she created it in Spanish, and I translated it to English. So we're going to go through this PowerPoint, and I'm going to explain to you all about realistic fiction, and then you'll know what your task is going to be on Seesaw by the end of this lesson. So our I can statement is I can focus on a topic for realistic fiction stories. But first, what is realistic fiction? Realistic fiction is a genre or a type of writing. It's fiction, which means it didn't actually happen, but it's realistic because it could happen. Now, there are two examples here of stories. One is a story that could really happen. It's about a boy and sheep, right? And there are boys who and girls who work in fields and work with animals and maybe might herd different animals. And then there's this example of the tortoise and the hare. And in that story, it couldn't actually happen, could it? If you're not familiar, it's a story about basically a rabbit and a tortoise who are in a race, and they talk, and that can't actually happen. In a realistic fiction story, the people could be real people, and it also can include animals. So there's an example, there's a boy right here, and there's a dog. Those are good possible characters for realistic fiction stories. But a vampire or a superhero, the people aren't really real people. So those would not be examples of a realistic fiction story. In a realistic fiction story, the action occurs in a place that could really exist, like in a school, in a park, a home, or a store. Now, the moon is a real place, but we haven't actually been able to send a classroom or send kids to the moon. So a realistic fiction story could not take place on the moon, in outer space. So I just wanted to mention that. Let's see. In a realistic fiction story, there's a problem that could really happen in real life. For example, getting into a car crash. So today, now that you know what a realistic fiction story is, you can create your own realistic fiction story. Before writing and developing our stories, we're going to think and write about different ideas. You can think and focus on a topic to write your story. Today we're going to focus on writing about characters, the setting, and the problem and the solution. So just those four things: characters, setting, problem, and solution. So the people are the who, those are the characters, and the place is the setting, so that's where it takes place and when it takes place. So does it take place at night? Does it take place in the morning? Does it take place on a Friday? And then there's a problem. Of course, a problem, something that could really happen. And then there's a solution and an ending. So an answer to the problem. Today you're going to write ideas for your story without writing a lot of details. In another lesson, we're going to learn how to include more information and details to make our stories interesting, just like we did with our small moment stories, our personal narratives. So you have to really think about the problem, think about the solution, and then you're going to focus on just writing little ideas down. Ideas that include a person, a place, a problem, and a solution. Here are two examples. Mary went for a walk with her dog and slipped. Could that really happen? Oh yeah. Mary released her dog's chain. She let go of her dog's chain. Hang on, Tilly, stop. And the dog left. It ran away. A person who saw what happened approached or walked up to the dog and took it to Mary. Mary was happy and went home. So do we have characters? Yes, we have Mary and we have a person who saw what happened, right? Do we have a problem? Oh yeah. Yep, Mary slipped, let go of her dog, and her dog left. It ran away. Do we have a solution? Yes. The person saw what happened, got the dog, gave the dog to Mary. So that example includes the 4 things we need to have. And underneath it, there's another example. Mary's mother asked her to take the dog out. The dog, so the dog like wrapped, this is written wrong, wrapped around Mary's legs, and Mary fell on the ice. A boy coming out of the store saw everything. The boy called the dog and took him to Mary. Mary was happy. So we have some characters. We have Mary's mom, we have Mary, and then we have a boy, right? We have a place, so it takes place here in, let's see, near a store, right? So it's outside, it's near a store. We have a problem. The problem is Mary fell on ice. And the so she fell, and the dog, because she fell, was able to get away. And so the boy came, he helped because he called the dog, and then he took the dog to Mary. So it's another example. Now, you might notice in these 2 examples, there is somebody who stands up and does the right thing. That, Tilly, that is going to be our focus for our realistic fiction stories. So what I want you to do is you're going to have a person, you'll have a place, you're going to have, oh my goodness, Tilly's driving me bonkers. A person, you're going to have a place, you'll have a problem and a solution, and I want you to try to have the solution be someone doing the right thing, being a good citizen. Okay? All right, so you are going to come up with at least 2 ideas for realistic fiction stories. I will explain more on Seesaw, but you're going to have 2 ideas that you're going to write about. And you can either write about them right on Seesaw, type them, or you can use your notebook and you can write your ideas in your notebook. All right, 2nd graders, make sure you go to the Seesaw activity.